Hey there YouTube. Today we're going to be looking at my new barbell. This one is the Beast by Cap. It's a 20 kilo bar or 44 pound. Here I'm trying to get the entire bar in frame as it's a 7.2 foot long bar. It's kind of hard to show the whole thing, but we're going to zoom in so we can actually see the details. Got this thing because obviously you get to a point where dumbbells, you can't push enough weight anymore. So you need to be able to get weight plates and such and a nice heavy bar, and so you can adjust how much weight you push. My wife lovingly calls this my weight stick, even though, you know, the actual name is a barbell. My experience in past is weight training at school. What I've only used before were basically a solid piece of metal that had this shape here. It had no special features, just a little bit of knurling, like over here. The texture on here is called the knurling. A little knurling for the grip, but nothing special, just a solid bar. That's what I've used before. So I got this thing and man, it looks fancy. Now, from doing a little bit of research on bars, like on bodybuilding websites and such, they actually say cap rhymes with crap. Well, no one says that directly, but that's kind of what they say. Cap is the cheap stuff, the stuff that you normally find in box stores like Walmart and such, or for bargain on Amazon. We actually got this one on Amazon. That being said, cheap stuff is great for getting you started because it's more important to get started exercising than to not exercise at all. Compared to what I'm used to seeing, this is an amazing looking bar. It's a matter of perspective. Pros are going to say this is a crap bar, but beginners are going to say this is a great bar. And Cap actually rates this bar up to 1,000 pounds. Now the thing is that the people who really know their bars and such say that they probably wouldn't put more than 500 on this bar, but I have yet to actually meet a person who can do a 500-pound deadlift. But I don't run in those circles. If this is just for your garage and you're not planning to go pro or go do shows or anything, this is probably going to be a great bar. That being said, that's my perspective. If my perspective matches yours, this review will be more appropriate to your opinions as well. And as you've probably seen here, I've been spinning the bar a little bit. So these sleeves here actually rotate, and I'll put some weights on in a little bit and show you that a little better. But as I understand it, these use a bushing for rotation on here. So it's a cheaper style way for the sleeves to rotate, and rotating sleeves are useful to reduce the tension on your wrist when you're spinning the bar around, usually do with like Olympic style lifts. You know, here you go, you see the knurling, and you've got two knurling stripes on either side. If we move this along, you know, they're over here as well. So in the middle, there's no knurling. And some people prefer no knurling in the middle, and that's for those front lifts, because sometimes, I guess, knurling will rub your clothes raw or rub your chest raw, depending on how you do them. But what the purpose of the knurling is to help you get a good grip, and it gets you a nice solid grip. Now, one thing is that some people have problems with doing squats with no middle knurling. Well, if you're a beginner like me, that's probably not going to be an issue, because first of all, you're probably not going to have that much weight on there, and second of all, you can correct that with a little athletic tape for friction if you need it. It's still a nice kind of grippy surface there. I guess it's the oxide layer is the coating they use there. And the knurling is actually, I don't know how well the camera will focus on that, but it's actually very grippy, and I don't feel like there's any issue with losing my grip on like doing a deadlift or anything. One thing to note here on the sleeve, you've got, I don't know if you can hear that, me scratching it, but it's got like little ridges on there. And so the ridges on the sleeve can help give like a little extra grip so the plates don't slide as much. If you're tired and having trouble putting your plates on, it can add a little extra effort there, but at that point you should probably be taking a break anyway. But it can also help hold your clips on. I've got cheapy clips like this, and the spring type apparently can sometimes get loose if you have a smooth sleeve. So this ridged sleeve actually can be beneficial for this type of clip if this is what you got. One thing, if you look at the Amazon reviews of this, people talk about metal shavings being a problem. I have not found any metal shavings like in the knurling or the grip or anything, but I could definitely see where if you're dragging plates on and off, how you could get some metal shavings in there. I don't see that as a normal place to put your hands, so I don't see that metal shavings would be an issue, and they would also be self-generated if they were an issue. So that I don't think that metal shavings is actually an issue with this, from what I've used from this so far. So let's get some weights on this. I'll show you the roll a little bit better. All right, I put a couple 25s on there. There you can actually see the roll a little bit better. And here, you can see me rotating the bar a little bit with just my wrists. And there's a little bit of friction, but it's not bad. Bushings can wear over time and you can oil them, but for what I'm going to use this for, rotation doesn't have to be superb, and it's way better than anything I've used before. So I expect this to be a bar that I use for quite some time before I graduate to a better bar. And what I paid for it, it was nice and cheap as well. So this seems to be a really good buy, especially if you're a beginner.